Thanks for joining me, Bastich B, for Import City, a look at the world of 80s and 90s Japanese gaming. In particular, we're going to check out Japan exclusive games and English fan translations, and show some really fun stuff that require no Japanese to enjoy. If you like the Famicom, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Mega CD, Saturn and PSX, then this may be for you. So now let's check out today's two games. So on today's episode, I'm going to look at two Sega Saturn shoot-em-ups. Both these Saturn versions were never released outside of Japan, and they are Twinkle Star Sprites and Kingdom Grand Prix. But now let's flip on over to our first game. Twinkle Star Sprites was released originally in the arcades by ADK in 1996 and debuted on Neo Geo's MVS system. The Sega Saturn version came out 1 year later in 1997. At first glance it looks like a generic shooter, but look a little closer and most people might even think it's a puzzle game. Well, it's definitely different and unique, and Twinkle is a strange hybrid of cute-em-up and strategy and intense two-player versus tropes. Just like classic puzzle games like Puyo Puyo or Puzzle Fighter, it's about creating combos and throwing those onto the second player or computer screen. You first get to choose your character made out of 14 wacky individuals, then it's off to the first level. The screen is split in two like a puzzle game, but instead of matching blocks, you're blasting stuff in classic shooter style, with either regular fire or an R-type style charge shot. Taking out rows of enemies triggers combos and sends more enemies to your opponent's screen, and vice versa. It's like an old school game of tug of war, with you both blasting for survival until one person eventually gets overwhelmed. A host of combos and status changing effects are also present, like blasting the blue orbs, for example, sends the action into fever status, which essentially doubles the amount of enemies killed being thrown back at your opponent. The level ends if your opponent gets obliterated or you lose all your hearts. There is so much to like here, but overall the originality is its best feature. The Saturn version is also a fantastic port of the arcade original, enhancing it in so many ways. The wonderful new anime-styled intro sequence and awesome second disc, which is loaded with artwork and making of material, is such a blast to go through. The graphics take the best of a Konami Parodius game and run with it. The music is infectious and cheery, and even if you're the grumpiest of grumps, I'm sure your feet will be tapping in no time. The gameplay is fantastic fun, with each level being short and sweet before blasting you off to the next stage. This Saturn version is still my favorite, although there's also a cool Dreamcast one, but that is only available in Japan. This game did eventually get an English release on PC and various consoles in digital form only in the late 2010s. All of them, however, are only ports of the standard arcade version without any extras. If you enjoy collecting imports though and are looking for something unique that even in Japanese that will require zero knowledge of to play, then look no further than Twinkle Star Sprites. Kingdom Grand Prix was originally released in the arcades in 1994 by Raising, a company whose shoot-em-up pedigree is in the highest regard, with gems such as Battle Garega and 1944 The Loop Master in their wheelhouse. And if you're unaware, this game is part of a trilogy and is the second part of the Maiho Daisuke-sen games, which also includes Saucer Striker and Daimahu, which was covered in episode number 5 of my Shoot-em-up Decade series if you want to learn more about it. Like Twinkle Star, this game is very unique for the genre, and also received a wonderful Japan exclusive version for the Sega Saturn. What's weird about this one is that it quite successfully, once you get to grips with the concept that is, combines a shoot 'em up and racing game into a single style. And I don't mean a simple racer with some blasting action, but a full bullet hell styled affair, while racing and taking out your opponents on top of everything else. It's a bizarre combination that works quite well once your brain gets the gist of it. The plot has every racer in his or her own strange vehicles competing from across the kingdom for the Grand Prix title, with war obliterated in this world. This is the peasant's favorite yearly pastime to watch. The Saturn version, unlike the arcade one, has two different versions on it. The arcade style, where racing and shooting are the gameplay, and the Saturn mode, where you can disregard the race altogether and treat the game simply as a bullet hell affair. So basically whatever works for you, which is a cool addition. In the arcade mode you got regular shots and a charge shot, which is basically a turbo boost to help you catch up or dodge things quicker. You can also see where you are on the left hand side of the screen with your map, and you also get a nifty selection of screen destroying bombs as per usual, and their effect depend on which of the 8 characters you picked from. It's fast and frantic and quite different from the glut of shmups that were out during this period. I also love the fact that after each race you get to pick your next level, kinda like Outrun, making one playthrough not enough to see all its 12 levels in total. The graphics are just an excellent example of multi-scrolling sprite work. The soundtrack by Hitoshi Sakimoto, who also did Radiant Silvergun's cool score, and gameplay is unique and challenging in the best possible ways. This is another one that's import friendly 100% with zero knowledge of Japanese needed to enjoy, and when setting it into arcade mode it even flips the screen to the side so you can orientate your monitor for that authentic arcade accurate aspect ratio. So check it out, it's a great shot of a developer trying something different and ultimately succeeding.